Love yourself. We still haven't learned how to love ourselves. Still, one of the gravest handicaps amongst the so-called Negro or nigger is that there is no love for self, nor love for his or her own kind. This is not having love for self is the root cause of hate, dislike, disagreement, quarreling, betraying, stool pigeons, and fighting and killing one another. How can you be loved if you have not love for self and your own nation and dislike your member of your own? Then what nation will trust your love and membership? You say to yourself, I love everybody. This cannot be true. Love for self comes first. That Sunday book that you claim to believe says love the brother. Love one another. Love of self comes first. The one who loves everybody is the one who does not love anyone. This is the false teachings of the Christians for the Christian war against Christian. They have the belief, the Bible, so twisted by adding and taking out the truth that it takes only God for one whom God has given knowledge of the book to understand. The Bible puts more stress upon the love for thy neighbor than the love for the brother. When asked, who is my neighbor, the answer was contrary and incorrect. Yahweh answered from the same place. One was from Jerusalem, the other was the same place, the Samaritan. The Samaritan came to where the man from Jerusalem lay wounded by robbers who stripped him of his possessions. The Samaritan showed sympathy for the fellow traveler. He was not a neighbor in the sense of a word. A neighbor can be an enemy. Many enemies live in the same neighborhood of a good neighbor, but the answer for Yahweh gave was for a feudal one, which could be classified as a parable of the so-called Negro and slave masters. The so-called Negroes fell into the hands of the slave masters, who have robbed, spoiled, wounded, and killed them. The Good Samaritan here would be the Mahi, Allah, God in person, as he is often referred to by the Christian as the second coming of Yahweh, or the Son of Man, to judge man. This one will befriend the poor, the so-called Negro, and heal the wounds by pouring into their heads knowledge of self and others, as Jehovah did in the case of Pharaoh and his people to fear Israel from bondage and false religion and gods of Pharaoh. There are many other proofs in the Bible which agree with the above answer. Love yourself and your kind. Let us refrain from doing evil to each other, and let us love each other as brothers, as we are the same flesh and blood. In this way, you and I will not have any trouble in uniting. It is a fool who does not love himself and his people. Your black skin is the best, and never try changing its color. Stay away from intermixing of your slave master's children. Love yourself for your kind. That's what you all don't do. You don't love yourself. You don't love your own people. You don't love your kind. You'll get on a platform that was set up to help you to hate your own people, to lie to your own people, to steal from your own people, to kill your own people, be it in the flesh or of the spirit. Nothing of love comes out of this platform. The only thing that comes out of this platform is words of hate. You all need to pick up this book, Message to the Black Man in America, since none of you all want to claim Africa, where your first ancestor came from. This is the Snoop TV1. I read your comment. I read where you asked me why did I change my content. I changed my content because these people you can't get across to. These people you can't get them to understand what love is, what understanding, what uniting is. These are people that are money hungry and that will steal from their own, lie to their own, kill the spirits of their own, change the spirit of their own, all for the love of money. So yes, my content has changed. My reading has changed and gone back to those that don't love your brother and don't love your sister and don't know how to apologize and don't know how to not hold grudges and to kill one's spirit and attempt to discredit their character. I stopped following everyone, because I came back into the light. I got out of the darkness, that dark forest, the dark forest that people hang out in and come out and hurt you and come out and call themselves exposing you and bring up your deceased parents, your deceased siblings. I started accepting people for who they are. Sean Bradley is who he is. I'm not the one to judge. They've called me every name in the book except for judger. The final judgment is going to come down on them. But I'm doing my work here, learning how to walk again, learning how to get out in these streets, learning how to talk to these young men out on the street, learning how to teach them that they're kings. And as long as we popping one another down left and right with bullets, we also are doing it in words. I'm going to say it again. We're the most detrimental people to ourselves. That racism doesn't come from any color but our own. It comes in the form of doing business with one another. It comes in the form of scamming one another. It comes in the form of if I have to get on here and tell a lie to get money, I can't be around a bunch of hate mongers, a bunch of people that apparently never had anything in their life. And they found a platform called YouTube. So all the hurt and all the pain and everything that they had to go through in life, they take out on others. Some of the comments I get come from black women. The vessel. The only one that can give birth. And they don't love themselves. They don't know their worth. I'm not going to beat my head up against a door and try to teach people, especially black people, especially people of melanin, that we came from the Most High, that we are the original Jews, that we came from love, because we're too busy spewing hate. And this world will not be a better world until we stop. If you want to be respected by those of any color, you must show respect for yourself and your fellow brother and your fellow sister. This is what I'm taught. This is what I believe. So when those that want to spew hate in my comments, I try to spew love back to them, because they don't know what real love is. I'm still with you, sister. My belief system haven't changed. You mentioned that I called out Sean Bradley. But there's a problem with me calling out Fabe. You all don't know what it is that you've been given. You've been given the minds. You've been given the third eye, so you can see what this world has waiting for you and your generation and generations after that. But you want to walk around blindly, and you want to follow someone, and you want to believe, and you want to sit up in a chat, and you want to dog your fellow brother and sister out. I believe in the Old Testament. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. You spew hate to me. You steal from me. You lie to me. Your tongue gets cut out for lying. You try to use me. You try to use my fellow brothers and sisters that are out here doing the work. And you know Snoop, Fred Hampton Jr. is in California. Fred Hampton Jr. is here in Chicago. And for every good deed he does, you black people sit on here and you undo it. Sharing? No. These are full-grown adults that rather than going to a store owned by a black person, buying books to learn how to love themselves, to understand their worth, they rather sit on YouTube and they rather listen to gossip and listen to somebody that says they have facts. That's not love. I got a lot of love in my heart. I got a lot of compassion in my heart. I feel sorry for those that sit up and bash and rename people and bring up their deceased parents, all for money, all to get back at a person. They don't know how to have conversations with one another. They want to air it out on the internet. So yes, YouTube sends me emails and asks me about different channels, and I give my honest opinion. These channels need to be taken down. They're nothing but channels of hate. They have broken the law. They have cyberbullied a woman. They have brought up her deceased parents. And you wonder why YouTubers are committing suicide, while some have to get off of here because they know that their spirit is being taken. That an almost 40-year-old woman wants to pick on a 24-year-old, and you all want to call her an adult. That's the penal system. At 17, you're a man. At 18, you're considered a woman. You got women on here that had children when they were 17 and had no idea how to raise them, but they're old enough to go to jail. You have young men on here that might have made a mistake in their younger years, but at 18, their minds aren't developed, and they make a mistake and they have a title on them for the rest of their lives. So I sit back, I watch the hate, and I don't watch much of the hate because it changes the spirit. You have new YouTubers that come on here and say they're going to change. They're going to be the change. And their spirits get tainted. And they fall into the blindness. And then they become exactly what they said they weren't about. So assalamu alaikum, my sister. Spread the word. Teach these people how to love one another. Teach them their self-worth. That they're beyond all the names that they've attached to people. That they're beyond being so fanatic over one. They love these content creators more than they love the Most High. They have become their gods. But when the final say is done and the judgment day has come, then they will turn to the Most High.